Hi, welcome back. Hey, you know what we should do? I think we should take a ride, maybe to the beach. What do you think about that, guys? You want to take a ride to the beach? Take me to Isle of Palms Beach. All right, that sounds good. Let's do that. Let's do that. So, there's so much to talk about. Now, as you know, this is a Model Y full self-driving Tesla Juniper, and I am not driving. The car is doing everything, as you know. You can see that by looking at that little rainbow screen right there. That rainbow screen tells you that the car is in full self-drive mode. Those are my hands. I am not driving. I'm just chilling back. Now, there is so much to discuss. So much happening at Tesla that it's almost impossible to keep up with it all. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about today is Robotaxi. Now, we all know, if you've watched any of my videos, if you're following Tesla at all, Robotaxi has rolled out in, I believe, 18 different cities right now, 18 different areas. And some of those are in the same city, but they're different grids. They're different, they roll out an area and they expand to another area and then they roll out more. And now they're rolling out in other states. But there's something very, very, very critical that's going on right as we speak. You know, they have launched in Austin, Texas, and now they have just started testing Robotaxi in Dallas, Texas. Now, that's a couple hours, 2.5 hours, I believe, drive. Those cities separating each other. And word on the street is, sorry about that, my camera's moving around here, I don't know why. Word on the street now is that they are getting ready to launch Dallas. Once they launch Dallas, guess what happens? What happens? You tell me, what happens? What happens is you now have the ability for a Robotaxi to go between cities. There's something like 22 million people within those areas. Oh my God, my camera's fighting with me today. I'm very disappointed with this mount that I got, but we're gonna get through this video and then we'll think about buying another mount. Now the car is mad at me because I'm not watching the screen. Anywho, so once they start doing the Dallas thing and they get that fired up, now you're going to have cars going between cities. Now, look, you know, you've watched enough full self-driving videos now to understand the fact that I drive weekly, sometimes 3 days a week, to another city. I drive from Charleston, South Carolina to Myrtle Beach, actually North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And that's a 214 mile round trip. I am always in self-driving when I'm doing that. And actually, I'm going to do a video on that soon because I've never really done a video for the entire trip one way. And I'm going to do that so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, just like me, when I go to Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, or like the people down in down in Austin or Dallas, when they start traveling, you know, every once in a while, you're going to want to stop off and get a cup of coffee or go to the bathroom or whatever it is. Those are the only times that you have to intervene with the car. Now, actually, frankly, if you know the coffee shop that you want to go to, you can pre-program that in to your full self-driving. And so basically, the car is driving you all the way. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, this is very exciting news. Now, the other thing I want to talk about with full self-driving is Tesla announced yesterday that version 14 software is getting ready to roll out next week to some beta testers. And those are basically the people, some of them work for the company, others are engineers who work for or close to Tesla. And then so that was interesting. Did you see that? I pulled out in front of that car. There was plenty of room. The guy in the other car freaked out. My Tesla knew. It knew the distance. It knew it had plenty of time. This is why, obviously, my car is smarter than a human being. Did you see that? This is the stuff. This is why they tell all of us guys we should be recording all the time. Because this is stuff that happens that absolutely blows my mind. That's how great this technology is. So anyway, I feel bad that the guy in the other car has a really deep ego, but that's on him. My God, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh, so the rollout. They're rolling out V14 to beta testers, and some of those guys are engineers. I said that. And then also the next wave that comes out will be to the influencers, the guys who are obviously much better than I am at doing videos in their Teslas. And those guys will take various trips in various parts of the country where they will be in version 14. Now, Elon Musk has said that version 14 will seem sentient. So basically, you will be able to feel the car thinking. Now, I know what he's saying. I think what he's saying is, if you close your eyes, you'll feel like you're just in the car with a human being. I kind of feel that now. I think my car in many ways feels like a human being, maybe feels better than a human being, but I think what he's saying is that it's gonna be smarter, faster, better, safer, but it will feel more like a human being because it will make split-second decisions and do its thing, right? Which is essentially the goal. The goal is to move forward so fast that we roll this out nationwide, and it's coming soon. Nationwide is coming soon. I don't think people realize that. You know, when they send Waymos to another city, they have to send the cars out, they have to run the streets, they have to record all the videos, they have to use the LiDAR. So in other words, they have to map where that tree is, or where that telephone pole is, or where that stoplight is, or where that crosswalk is, all this stuff. Tesla's not doing that. Tesla is like the eyes of a human being. Basically, it's reading what's going on around it just like we do. The only difference is we're only looking one direction. The car is looking all directions all the time and ready to react in a split second. There's no such thing as like blind views in a Tesla. It just does not exist. You know how they'll say, oh, there's a blind spot. You know, they say every car has a blind spot. You know, there's a guy coming up to your left and you can't really see him, but all cars now have a little thing on the mirror that flashes yellow or red depending on how close they are. But the neural net system, the cameras in the Tesla, doesn't need that. It doesn't need that because it's watching everywhere, all around it, all the time. So that is all coming with version 14, and he said that version 14 will be out, then 14.1 will be out probably a week after that, then 14.2, and then 14.3 is the big daddy. That's it. That's when the world literally changes. And I believe that they will be rolling out to many cities nationwide. Now, the other thing that happened this week at Tesla on the manufacturing side is the US government approved a patent that Tesla had applied for quite a while ago. I think it's 2 or 3 years ago now. And that patent is a system of manufacturing called unboxing. Now, I can't go into all the history of this on this video because it's very detailed, but essentially, here's what you need to know. A couple of things. First of all, the way the automobile is manufactured hasn't changed in pretty much 100 years. We're still operating. Although we have automated a lot of things, there's one basic system that's still in place, that has been in place for 100 years, and that is you're on the factory floor. You take the sections of the car. Let's say you take the front, the back, the sides, and you put them together. And then you paint, the front, the back, the hood, the panels, basically. The hood, the rear end, the side panels, the quarter panels, the roof panels, and the doors. And you put it all together. Then you take all that apart and you put it off to the side. Then you come in the case of the electric vehicle, you come in, you put the battery pack up underneath. With combustion engine cars, basically you would put in the undercarriage, the suspension system, the rear differential, all that kind of stuff. And then you would come with the seats, and then you would come with the trim. And then you would come with the doors and the hood and the trunk and all that other stuff. What's going to happen with unboxing is all of that stuff will be pre-made, and then it will literally be in a box, and then it will be taken to a section of the factory, which is the assembly section, and all of those parts will be laid out in a grid pattern system, and it will be put together by robots. And instead of them riveting things together, it will essentially be a series of glues and clips. So they will put these little clips in, and the clips, by the way, and that's how they were described to me, clips. The clips will hold everything together, and then the glue will lay over that. And whatever kind of glue this is, it must be really good. But anyway, then your vehicle will be complete. Now, what the hell does that have to do with manufacturing? Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, if you go down to the factory in Texas, or the factory in Shanghai, China, or the factory in Berlin, in Germany, a car will leave the production line approximately every minute. This unboxing system, which is predominantly going to be used in the beginning for Cybercab, a car, are you ready for this? I hope you're sitting down. A car will be built every 3 seconds. You heard me right. Not 30 seconds, not 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Seconds. That's how fast Tesla will be able to build the Cybercab. So this is going to revolutionize the auto industry forever. Forever. And just so you know, nobody, absolutely nobody, is doing this. Tesla are leading all the way. And look, I've said this before. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. Tesla are leading in full self-driving. They're leading in autonomy, obviously the same thing. They're leading in manufacturing technology. They're revolutionizing manufacturing. They're leading in battery range. They're leading in every single area that is the automobile industry. And their margins are so far below everybody else that, frankly, I don't know how anybody is going to be able to compete. Now, the next news that came out this week is there is very strong speculation, though it hasn't been proven. Nobody knows for sure this is happening yet. But there's very strong speculation that the first company who Tesla will license its full self-driving infrastructure to is going to be Hyundai and Kia. Now, there's relationships going back a long way. And by the way, you know, I like Ford, I like Chevy, I like all cars, I like every car, but the Hyundais and the Kias that they have been making in the last 10, 15, 20 years, they really are phenomenal vehicles. And oddly enough, if you look at some of the Hyundais and some of the Kias, their shape, and I'm not sure, by the way, I'm just speculating. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with the technology, but their shape doesn't look unlike a Model 3 or a Model Y, etc. So the rumor is they will be the first. And this is why we keep saying that the amount of data that Tesla has and the technology they have, anybody who's going to try to compete in any way or keep up, never mind compete, keep up, they will have no choice but to partner up with Tesla. I mean, you know, 6 months from now, a year from now, where's Uber going to be? You know, Waymo are doing a great job. And a lot of people speculate that Waymo won't exist. I believe there's room for 2 or 3, you know, technologies in there, two or three people. But let me tell you something. Waymo or Tesla don't need Uber or Lyft or any other ride-sharing platform. Now, that's one thing. What is going to happen to the auto rental business going forward? You know, most people who rent cars, sometimes they're for long trips, but the majority of them are at airports. Business people fly in. Sometimes people fly in on vacation. They rent a car for a weekend, for a couple of days. If it's a businessman, he rents it for a couple, you know, for a day or a night or whatever it is. When you have major cities to begin with, and then secondary cities. So when you go down to the city of New York City, for instance, where there's 8 million people, then you go down to, you know, smaller cities where there's 1 million, 500,000, even 400,000, 200,000, where they're operating Robotaxis, and there's, plus Waymo, and there's an overabundance of them. I mean, ask yourself a question. Who needs a rental car? Who needs the hassle of taking all that time to go out and get a rental car? I mean, it just absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. So you're going to see industries basically getting destroyed over the next year. And listen, we all know that much of this stuff is on what they call Elon time. Elon is not always on time, but the one thing he is consistent about is he most definitely always delivers. Now, you notice why what my car slowed down. It's going to go a little bit to the left and past those emergency vehicles. Isn't that amazing? Now, check out that view in front of you. Can you see that? Do you like that? That's the big Atlantic Ocean, baby. I love coming over this bridge because this is, you know, you drive down now into the Isle of Palms. You can see the marina there on the left. And you just come over that little causeway bridge there. And there's this beautiful view of the ocean in front of you. So anyway, what do you think about everything that's going on with Tesla, right? Are you excited? I know I'm really excited. So far, also, economic data is looking really good. I know listen, you can find YouTube videos that will tell you the world is going to end tomorrow. And you know what? It is going to end tomorrow for somebody, because none of us are going to live forever. All of us are going to die at some point. Hopefully it's not tomorrow for any of us, and especially for any of you who are watching. Check out how smart this car. Did you see what it did there? It was going to make the left turn, and it's like, no, that's not the right left turn. I got to go up here, or I got to go over here. I got to be smart about this. Now, I have no idea where it's going to take me, right? Because I just put in Isle of Palms. So it's probably just going to go down here to the end of the street. Notice these people walking on the left. The car sees them, just so you know. So it's probably going to come down here. And that building that you see in front of you, on the other side of that building is the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm not sure what the car is going to do. I don't think it has the capability to climb over that building and take me right out to the beach. Maybe it does. I'm just kidding about that. But here we go. It's going to drive me down here, and let's see where it decides it wants to drop me off. Maybe it's going to park. Is it possible that it's going to park? That it's going to drive me around? You know, the beauty when you get used to full self-driving, and you know you're not in a rush somewhere. I really get pure joy out of just letting the car decide where it wants to go. You know, and then it decides. Oh, look at this. Okay, so this, by the way, folks, is the official parking area for Isle of Palms Beach. But I'm not going to stay here, so I'm going to stop it right now, right here. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, how are you?